All
Or
right.
somebody else?
We are in business. We've
Somebody,
got,
yeah.
I got it. So somebody else has just come in. Welcome to the 11th Ward Community Zoning Meeting. It is Monday, June 22nd. It's a little after 5:30. Apologies for the late start. I'm Alderman Lee. If you are tuning in for the first time to our community zoning meeting, we have community meetings for any zoning requests made by individuals. So that neighbors and anybody who lives in the ward who's interested can hear what is being proposed for the change that's being requested. Neighbors can raise issues and concerns, and we hope to address those in the meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have with us today the attorney for the owner of or and developer of the property. Agnes Pleka is with us. Then we have a owner's representative. Are you with the contractor today? Who are you
Yeah.
representing?
Yeah, the applicant contractor, yeah.
Excellent. This is Rocky. Hello. All right. Well, I have a presentation that we're going to go ahead and share. Welcome to everybody who's here. If you've got questions, we're going to hold those to the end, if you don't mind. You can, and if you've joined us on the virtual, you can just give us a shout out if you are not able to use the raise your hand function. Hold on a second and let me pull up the presentation, which I had up a minute ago and now it's gone. Hold, please. There we go. That's the one that I want. Okay. So I am sharing. I'm going to hand it over to Agnes. I'm going to move this window if I can, make it a little bit out of the way. Nothing is cooperating with me when I want to grab it and move it. Shrink it, put it someplace else. There we go. All right. Everybody on the Zoom should be able to see this now, and everybody in the room has it as well. I'm gonna try to move the closed captioning out of the way here. All right, go ahead. Over to you, Agnes.
Good evening, Alvin. Thank you so much. Juanita, thank you so much for organizing this meeting. Neighbors, thank you for caring and allowing us to present and listening to our presentation. Very briefly, our team, applicant, owner of the property, 345W25th LLC. We have Wacky here on behalf of the GC, the owner, the applicant. We have the architect from Very Architects. These are the project designers and artists behind the project. And my name is Agnes Pleka from Jaffe Berlin LLC, and I'm the applicant's attorney on this project. Just a little bit, if we go to the next slide, actually the third slide. So that does, yeah. So just a little bit about the GC and the developer who's gonna be building those beautiful units. They've been around for a long time. They have 40 years of experience, both commercial, residential, and mixed-use projects. These are some of the addresses in the area that they already built or are currently under construction. And the next slide will show you a little bit of what they do and how beautiful their interiors are. Very thoughtfully designed, modern designs, modern floor plans, very functional, and just beautifully appointed with all the modern amenities that a family or people would like and seek for. Now let's talk about a little bit about the subject property. The next slide, you'll see a zoning map. So this is a very unique location, very unique property, several unique things. Number one, this is the only M1-2 district parcel on this block. The block itself is unique. It's all residential, but it's squeezed in between Stevenson Highway and then Ryan Highway. Now, this particular property is literally at the corner of 25th and Stewart, and it's a trapezoid lot, so it's very irregular. And it's actually backing out right to Den Ryan to the south, and we have rail tracks, large rail property directly to the west. So this property, what we're hoping is going to be a beautiful segue, beautiful buffer between those manufacturing districts to the west and to the south, and all those residential units already in place to the north and to the east of the subject property. So let's go to the next one. I have few maps and few pictures to kind of, I'm sure you guys know the property, but sometimes it helps to visualize what we're looking at it. So the aerial view that you see in front of you, this is kind of looking south from West 25th. So this is our the existing property is improved with an existing commercial/industrial building. So that building is here right on the edge at the West 25th and Stewart Avenue. And then we have a picture of the existing building. The existing building is built lot line to lot line. So what we're proposing will have beautiful and large setbacks on each side. So in terms of even of site planning and kind of incorporation with the existing streetscape, it's going to be much, much better design. A few more pictures in terms of where it's located and what you look at when you look at the west side of the property and the south side. You can see Dan Ryan right behind the property. This building is directly in across the street from the property. So it's also kind of similar building, 3 flat with basement to what we're proposing. So we're hoping that you guys will agree with us that this is going to be nicely incorporated into the existing streetscape and the current land use in the area. The next slide.
Next one from here.
Yeah, the
This
next one. Yeah, this one, right. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit overview of what it means changing from one district to another district. So right now, this is an existing M1-2 manufacturing district. So in a way, what we're proposing, it's going to be not really up zoning, it's a down zoning, not only in terms of intensity of the uses, but also in terms of the bulk regulation. So right now, M1-2 district allows FAR, which is a floor area, 2.2. What we're proposing is between 1.2 and 1.4, which we'll show a little bit later on. So much smaller building than what is already allowed under the current existing district. Not to mention M1 district doesn't have any height limitations. So they could build something much taller than what we're proposing. In terms of permitted uses, again, to the east and to the north, we have all residential, lower density, 2 flats, 3 flats, and they are very low intensity uses. The existing M1-2 district allows very intense commercial industrial uses such as taverns, car wash, body workshops, wholesaling, freight movement, manufacturing, industrial uses. So that's definitely not really in line with what's already existing in terms of residential lower density uses. So we're hoping that, again, you would agree with us that what we're proposing is much better, much more improved land use proposal than what's already is there and what could be developed under the existing current zoning district. So the next slide, proposed improvements. We are proposing to demolish the existing building. This is a larger parcel, so we would divide this parcel into 3 zoning lots. Each lot 36 feet wide, and each lot would be developed with a 3-unit building, 3-story plus a basement. Each building, and we will show you the site plan. Actually, maybe we can even move to that site plan so that it's better visible.
Which one do you?
So that's not the next one, but the next one, site plan. Go down.
This one.
Yeah, this one. So each lot will provide combined site setbacks of 6 feet. Again, right now we have a lot line to lot line building, no setbacks whatsoever. With this proposal, we will have 6 feet side setbacks. We will have nice 10 feet front setback, which will line up very nicely with those existing buildings that are there. We're going to have a large rear setback between 30 feet to 40 feet. As you can see, this is a trapezoidal lot, so not every lot depth is exactly the same. Hence, we're asking for a little bit higher 4.5 as opposed to our RT4, what's there, just to kind of accommodate those varying lot depths which some of them are just substandard, and it's just kind of difficult to design a building which is similar to the next lot. So this is what we're proposing. Each lot will have 3 parking spaces. The parking will be accessed off the alley running along the rear property line. There's plenty of backyard space. We are complying with the rear yard open space. These are those rectangles and squares that show what is the minimum area. And you can see that we are actually providing much bigger backyard than what the city requires. So this is also just to kind of show you in perspective. In terms of the floor plans, we can go to the next one. So we will have a duplexed unit on the ground floor, duplex down to the basement. So this is going to be a little bit bigger unit with 6 bedrooms. And then second and third floor will each have 1 unit, and each unit will have 3 bedroom included in that floor plan. Again, the proposed height, 3-story. The height is 41 feet 3 inches. So again, they're not really asking for the absolute maximum allowed under the 4.5. The maximum allowed is 47. We're only asking to 41. So again, they're just trying to make sure that they have a nicely designed building, which includes those hardship, which substandard lot depth kind of triggers. So that's really the design criteria. They have designed front elevations with those beautiful large windows, picture windows. So the units are full of light, especially that we have nice side setbacks in front and rear. So the units will be flooded with light. So again, very thoughtful design. And in terms of the impact on the community, multiple benefits. Not only we are removing manufacturing district from a otherwise residential block, we are designing a building which is beautiful, improves the streetscape, will create additional tax revenue for the area, and will definitely promote reactivation of those nearby more commercial streets. So we're hoping that you will agree with us that this is a very well-designed project, fits well within the existing land use pattern, and is a much better use than what's already existing and what could be developed under the existing zoning district by right. And we ask for your support.
Okay, I will ask just a couple of questions here, just to kick things off, and then folks, if you have a question, you are online, please just go ahead and shout them out if you can't use the raise your hand function. So I used to live on this street. I used to live at 220 West 25th Place, so I'm very familiar with the block. I used to go to the hardware store, Zweifels, which was over here. What sort of environmental cleanup's gonna need to happen on the property? Because I think they did some metalworking.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be pretty intense because whenever you convert from manufacturing district to completely residential, there is a lot of remediation involved. Are you guys done with the phase 2? Probably not yet because we didn't get enough into the project. So they, it costs a lot of money to even prepare phase 2. So they wanted to kind of make sure that there is some justification for spending additional thousands.
But the environmental remediation will be done before anything is built. The city code requires.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to ask that on the record.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody who lives in the area who's familiar with it will know what was there before. The natural concern. So just to recap, it's currently M1-2.
Right.
They're asking for a reduction in zoning to RM 4.5. This is actually technically, is it 4 city lots or is it 5 city lots?
It's
I know they're not very deep.
They're a little wider than.
they're a little wider. So it's
25 and
these are
36. So probably about 4.
Yeah, so because of the depth and the weird shape of the parcels, these are going to be wider in general. I see the first floor units are going to be duplexed. 6 bedrooms is a lot. Can you talk at all about sort of the thought behind that? I mean, I rarely see anything like a duplex that is 6 bedrooms at
Right.
the end of the day.
And I think what they, they have the space, so they're trying to show it currently as bedrooms, but a lot of it's gonna be kids' playroom or offices, especially if you have a couple and so many people are working from home. And you just want to have a separate office
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, and
one
just to be
person
clear,
or
because the
other.
first thing that I went to was to look to see if there was going to be a second kitchen downstairs, because I will tell you that a common concern that we hear in these zoning meetings is someone trying to put an additional unit
Right,
in there, but this is intended to be a duplex. There is
Oh, yeah.
no separate
Yeah.
entrance
Yeah,
for
correct.
the basement or anything like that.
yeah, you could not
Again,
separate.
Yeah, I, again, just wanted to make that clear in case that question comes up. And then another question, you've addressed the parking, appreciate, even though I think you're within the TOD, you're not required to do 1-to-1.
It's, and sometimes city map doesn't quite show it well. I did not find that
Okay.
it's a TOD
Okay,
district.
that's
So
great.
that's why we're doing
Yeah.
one to
Well,
one.
and I would have insisted on a 1-to-1,
Okay.
honestly, like, cause
Yeah.
parking is always a big concern
Right.
for everybody. So I'm pleased to see that. Are you planning on putting a fence around the perimeter here at all? It's just a question. It's
Yeah.
not like you
Jackie?
have to have or anything like that.
Do you know?
We're gonna find out, but most likely some kind of fence will be.
Like along Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because Stewart's kind of a quiet street.
Yeah.
Safety and security, everybody, might not be a bad idea to have a fence
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
As far as, these are 3 units, so they will be serviced by city trash. Do you have like a trash enclosure? Can we include a trash enclosure? That's the other thing that that I know neighbors will
Yeah.
always, want to have some clarity on, so that we don't just have trash cans
Yeah,
kind of hanging
yeah.
out in the.
So,
in the
Daniel,
alley.
you can opine. I believe that right now we're not showing trash enclosure
No,
because it's not required because it's just such a low density.
Yeah.
However, as you can see, the backyard, there's so much space left over. But
Okay.
there's certainly plenty of space to ensure that we have
Yeah,
trash enclosure.
I want to raise it only
Yeah, yeah.
because literally every single meeting we have,
Yeah.
trash and parking are
Yeah.
the issues.
Yeah.
What are these?
Bring it up at the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
to put it in.
yeah.
what are these rectangles here?
So that's the minimum.
Yeah.
Required for rear yards.
We had open
Oh, so you were just
Yeah,
you're showing these yards are much bigger than
Correct.
what's required. Got it.
Correct,
Even
yes.
in the smallest one.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So this shows what the city requires in terms of the rear yard open space. But as you can see, there's so much more
Yeah,
space all around.
Because the
Right.
lots are so
Yeah,
wide.
yeah.
Okay. And then these are all meant to be rental units? Or
I
are they condos or what's happening?
I believe they're gonna be rentals. I guess Henry hasn't quite decided that. The other projects were also rentals. I think they're
Yes.
kind of skewing towards rentals.
I think they more towards the rental.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have questions? If you are on the Zoom and you'd like to ask a question, you may need to unmute yourself. I see a few people are muted. Elena, did you have a question or May Rom or Galaxy S9?
Not at the moment, I think I'm good.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment? Okay, great. Thanks for tuning in. Anybody else want to
Thanks.
ask a question? I just want to make sure I give everybody an opportunity. I don't see anything in the chat. Matt, anything from you in the room?
Not a question, just a comment. Like getting manufacturing out of a residential area is always a good thing. Really odd lot size, so there's not so much you can do in this space to begin with. And I would also say its proximity to the rail yard gives some added importance of getting manufacturing off of the zoning map when it presents itself, just considering some of the things that are being considered for going into that rail yard.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you.
So I agree with you, I would not want to see more manufacturing here. And I appreciate, Agnes, that you mentioned earlier sort of what could go there
Right,
as of right.
Right.
Which means, if the owner of the site wanted to build manufacturing 5 stories up, they
Can.
would be able to do
Yeah,
that
he
as
can.
is. There was a request previously for something more dense in this area. Just knowing the block and sort of makeup of the street. I push back on putting something more dense like a 4 or 5 story apartment building there. I think that the three flats actually fits much better with the character. I think it's gonna add a lot of curb appeal
Yeah.
to
sure.
the end of that block. I know that there were a few people who weren't able to make today's meeting. Generally speaking, what I would do is, depending on the feedback in the room, I might make a decision about supporting something, but in deference to the people who I know weren't able to show up to the meeting, I'd like to post the recording and allow for them to review it. Allow for anybody to ask questions. And then have an opportunity to respond, and then that'll give you an opportunity to just look at the trash enclosure piece of it. As I said, I lived way on the other end of the block on the cul-de-sac, but I do know quite a few people who live in the area. I want to make sure that folks have an opportunity. I do think that this is a nice addition to replace what was there before. Look, as the alderman, I know that several different ideas have passed through about what to do with that property. I think it's currently just being used to store restaurant equipment. It hasn't operated as a hardware store for quite some time. But I like that this is that the request now is for residential and that it's a sort of like more of a medium density, but really adding some nice apartments, some nice, very spacious apartments into the inventory. We need more supply.
And they're
of
just,
housing.
beautiful. I absolutely love the front elevation. They're just so full of light. So it's always nice to have a little bit higher ceiling with all those windows, like your whole apartment is just flooded with light. So it's just really good design.
Yeah. I'll do a last call for any questions, but for those of you that are online, I will, as I mentioned, post the recording and then we'll post the presentation that was shared as well. We'll leave that open for a week after it's posted, and then allow for folks who want to weigh in to
Yeah.
come back to us. Anything else you want to add, Agnes?
You have on the presentation, you have my contact information as well. I'm very, very reachable. If you guys have any follow-up questions, any thoughts, any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Copy Juanita, copy Alderman, but I know how Alderman is busy, so sometimes, I have this OCD that I need to respond right away, so, I may get you an answer.
That's right. As long as people are getting answers, that's all I really care about. I want to make sure that the community has an
Yeah,
opportunity to
absolutely.
ask the questions that they
Yeah.
want to ask. Just to recap, this is a down zone from manufacturing to residential. To tear down the old Zweifel building, remediate the land and then construct three flat buildings with the basement. So one duplex unit on the bottom with 2 apartments on top in each building. If nobody else has any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting here. We will post this so that everybody gets to see it. And if you've got any questions separately that you would like to ask us, please feel free to call the ward office. You can reach us at 773-254-6677. Again, 773-254-6677, or at the email address ward11, ward11@cityofchicago.org. All right, thanks, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.